Why is the traditional corporate firewall failing to stop modern cyber attacks? In this lesson, you will learn how to build zero trust. Welcome to the Cybersecurity and IT Best Practices Masterclass, where we transition from legacy defense to proactive enterprise security architecture. For decades, global enterprise cybersecurity was built upon a fundamental architectural flaw known as the secure network perimeter. This legacy model, frequently referred to as the castle and moat approach, operated on a dangerous assumption of implicit trust. It assumed that any user or device located physically inside the corporate network firewall was inherently trustworthy and safe. Conversely, it assumed that all entities originating from the external, public internet were inherently hostile and should be strictly blocked. In the modern digital landscape, that outdated architectural model is not merely obsolete. It is a critical, systemic corporate vulnerability. The massive proliferation of remote work, decentralized cloud infrastructure, and mobile devices has completely dissolved the traditional corporate network perimeter. Your enterprise data no longer resides in a single, heavily guarded on-premise server room located in your corporate headquarters. It is distributed across multiple global cloud environments, accessed by employees connecting from unsecured home Wi-Fi networks and public spaces. To understand the necessity of a new defensive paradigm, we must rigorously analyze the terrifying evolution of the modern threat landscape. We are no longer defending against isolated, opportunistic malware created by amateur hackers targeting random, unsecured digital infrastructure. The modern enterprise faces advanced persistent threats, or APTs, orchestrated by highly funded cybercriminal syndicates and state-sponsored actors. Furthermore, the commoditization of cybercrime through ransomware as a service has exponentially increased the volume, speed, and sophistication of global cyber attacks. The fundamental architectural failure of the legacy perimeter model is the catastrophic concept of lateral movement via implicit trust. If a sophisticated threat actor successfully breaches the external firewall, perhaps through a compromised employee credential or a phishing attack, the legacy system blindly grants that attacker unrestricted lateral movement across your entire internal corporate network without any further verification. The malicious actor can remain undetected inside the network for months, quietly exfiltrating sensitive data or deploying devastating ransomware payloads. This happens simply because the legacy architecture mathematically assumes their internal network presence somehow validates their authorization and identity. To survive in this threat landscape, technical leaders must fundamentally and permanently reject the concept of a trusted internal network. This brings us to the operational imperative of zero trust architecture, a strategic paradigm grounded in a single, uncompromising maxim. That maxim is, never trust, always verify. Trust is never granted implicitly based on a user's physical or network location. Instead, access to any corporate resource is continuously evaluated and dynamically authorized based on multiple, real-time contextual data points. Zero trust is not a specific software product you can purchase. It is a holistic security framework and architectural philosophy. This architecture rests on several core mechanisms, the first being robust, uncompromising identity and access management, or EAM. Under a zero trust framework, every single access request is fully authenticated, authorized, and encrypted before a connection is granted. This mandates the strict, non-negotiable implementation of multi-factor authentication across all internal and external enterprise digital touchpoints. A username and password combination is mathematically insufficient to prove identity. The system must verify a biometric or cryptographic token. The second core mechanism is evaluating the real-time security posture of the specific device requesting access to the corporate network. Even if the user's identity is mathematically verified, the system must independently check if the laptop or mobile device is compromised. It continuously audits the operating system patch level and the status of the antivirus software before allowing access to the database. The third pillar is the principle of least privilege, dictating that users are granted only the absolute minimum access required. If a marketing executive requests access, they are granted entry strictly to marketing databases, completely isolating them from corporate financial records. This restricts a potential attacker's blast radius. If they compromise a single account, they cannot move laterally to high-value targets. The fourth critical component is micro-segmentation, which involves dividing the overarching corporate network into smaller, isolated, and highly secure zones. By mathematically segmenting the network, you contain potential breaches within a single zone, severing the attacker's path to core infrastructure. Translating this rigorous zero-trust philosophy into daily IT operations requires a delicate, highly calculated balance by your security teams. The ultimate objective is to implement these rigorous, uncompromising security protocols without severely degrading overall employee productivity and operational speed. While the initial architectural implementation of Zero Trust requires significant planning, the long-term operational result is a highly resilient digital infrastructure. It decisively shifts the IT department's posture from constantly fighting external fires to systematically managing and verifying internal access continuously. It drastically reduces the organization's attack surface, neutralizing the threat of devastating ransomware attacks and massive data exfiltration events. As digital transformation accelerates and artificial intelligence integrates into your workflows, securing the data pipeline becomes an existential corporate mandate. You cannot deploy autonomous AI agents or scalable cloud microservices if the underlying network architecture is fundamentally vulnerable to compromise. Zero Trust is the foundational security layer that allows your digital enterprise to innovate safely in a hostile global digital environment. In our next masterclass session, we will dive deeply into the exact mechanical execution of identity and access management protocols. We will explore how to architect robust multi-factor authentication systems and deploy micro-segmentation across a complex, multi-cloud enterprise ecosystem. We will examine practical strategies for balancing strict cryptographic security with a seamless, frictionless experience for your global corporate workforce. We will also introduce the specific technical frameworks required to audit your current network permissions before migrating to a zero-trust model. To assist you in auditing your organization's current security posture immediately, I have published a comprehensive enterprise technical checklist. This companion documentation outlines the foundational zero-trust principles and the exact architectural flaws of legacy perimeter defense models. It provides a strategic blueprint for evaluating your organization's readiness to transition away from implicit trust to continuous cryptographic verification. It is strictly designed to be shared directly with your Chief Information Security Officer to align your overarching corporate defense strategy. You can access this critical operational documentation immediately in the professional GitHub repository linked directly in the video description below. I strongly encourage you to review these materials, prepare your architectural questions, and begin auditing your legacy firewall rules today. Do not wait for a catastrophic ransomware breach to realize that your traditional corporate network perimeter is a dangerous mathematical illusion. Demand the rigorous execution of true enterprise defense by establishing the uncompromising foundation of zero-trust architecture immediately across your organization. Master the continuous verification of identity, device, and context, and you will command the security of your highly competitive enterprise. By doing this, you protect your proprietary data, ensure global regulatory compliance, and safeguard your corporate reputation from devastating cyber incidents. The digital vanguard belongs to those who architect resilient defense, not those who rely on outdated, vulnerable legacy security perimeters. Subscribe to continue the cybersecurity masterclass, download the GitHub Zero Trust framework below, and join the vanguard. Thank you.